What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Save Point Presents. Wait, is it Save Point Presents? No, Save Point Reviews the MCU, where each and every single week we review, in theatrical release order, an MCU movie. It has all been leading to this, the end of Phase 1, Marvel's The Avengers. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I want to see kind of what your thoughts are. I know we talked about a little bit the other day off camera.
Phase 1 didn't have very many movies.
It was
it was stretched, I think, since to 08,
2010. It was 08 to 2012.
2012.
It was about 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, now it seems like in
right.
between the big tentpole movies, there's like 6 or 7 movies.
I was thinking about this earlier. Did they talk about like Phase 2 yet, or was that something?
By the time this came out,
yeah, or was that? I don't remember, because I know now they have it like where they announce it the whole phase ahead of time.
Actually, I don't know. I know they had
when
Thanos in the post credit, so that's obviously talking about something in the future. But I don't know if before the movie dropped.
Because now they have like giant press conferences that announce everything. I don't know if they had. I don't think it was big enough quite yet to have that.
I didn't know how they were gonna react with it. Because this is kind of the first movie where like all the superheroes come together.
Yeah, it's first like crossover.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean,
movie history like crossover like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like there's not like any movies that I know, or series that I know or that I can think of where it was all about these separate stories that obviously came together at the end. Man, they really did it right. Marvel. And I mean, at this point, it was still Paramount was releasing the pictures.
Then everybody tried to copy and failed.
Yeah, because they tried to do it differently by doing it backwards, where they have it all come together, then have their own origin story.
Mainly, DC.
Yeah. Let me pull this up. If this is your guys' first time to the channel, first off, welcome. Give this video a thumbs up. Check out the other content that we have. If you are, did I say new to the channel?
I think you did.
Okay.
Yes.
If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. That's what I was gonna say.
10-second.
Let me pull this up. I've got the stats here. So the movie was released on May 6th of 2012. Had a budget of $220 million, an opening weekend in the United States of $207 million, a total U.S. gross of $623 million, with a worldwide gross. And this is where it gets, this is where they start making the big money. $1.5 billion. I think this is the first one. This is definitely the first one that crossed $1 billion for like the Marvel movies.
MCU.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, at that point, I think it pretty much just keeps being true, more or less.
I think
there's a couple that don't.
More often than not, 1 billion is like the standard, at least.
Yeah.
For Marvel movies.
For the big finale on phases. It's definitely.
Even the other ones, a lot of them.
Do you remember how much did Disney pay for Marvel? Do you remember? Like $4 billion or $6 billion?
4, 5, 6.
Dude, they fucking. This was a robbery. Holy God!
Yeah, dude.
They've made their money back 100 times over. Jesus, man. But yeah, so like I said, $1.5 billion. May 4th, sorry, 2012, not May 6th. Before we get into the plot, what did you guys think? Going back to it.
I liked it. I think you brought it up. It was kind of slow. I thought, kind of setting all the pieces up in like the first third,
half or third,
maybe.
At
Definitely the first third, but things, shit didn't really kick off till like the last third.
They get to like the shield base or whatever.
Yeah, it's because they didn't really have a full team yet. They were still build up.
I mean, I understand. I just
it was really slow though to begin with.
But yeah, I liked it. Is this the first time? Yeah, Mark Ruffalo came in as the Hulk.
Yep.
I like him as the Hulk.
What about you? What'd you think? Going back to it,
I thought it was the same as the way I thought when it came. I mean, it was pretty great. It was pretty good, but not the greatest
Right.
one out of all of them.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely, especially going forward.
Yeah, it was pretty slow, but everyone. I don't think at that point not everyone knew everyone's background, especially with Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Right. I think this was the first time Hawkeye was.
No, he was in Thor.
He was in Thor.
Oh, he had a little cameo, right?
But this is the first time we saw him
Yeah. So that was
be a major part of the movie.
Beginning of the original 6.
Right.
So,
what about you? What'd you think?
I liked it. I mean, it was kind of slow in the beginning, but there was parts in the beginning that made it feel not as slow. Like the first time, Captain America fights Loki.
Oh yeah, they have little things sprinkled.
Yeah, and then Iron Man comes in, and then they capture him, and then Thor comes in, and then you have like a little fight. So it was little stuff like that throughout the beginning that like made it.
I still didn't like Thor by the time this movie came around.
I don't know. For me, it just kind of brought everyone's character together. I mean, the way they casted that characters, amazing.
Yeah.
The actors really fit in with.
That's the thing, man. Like they've been obviously now even more so then, but even like it's hard to imagine anybody else. And we've all talked about it. Anybody else doing these roles, like Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Chris Evans and everybody else. Yeah, I think you're right though. They nailed it as far as the casting.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Thor, I mean, he's all right. I don't think he really started to come into his own until, like, Ragnarok.
Whoever did, like, Thor, like, the writing for Thor, I just never thought they did him justice.
It was when they added in a high degree of humor is when, like, Chris Hemsworth really started to shine in that role. Yeah. Like, with Endgame and Infinity War and
I even
Ragnarok.
think, we talked about it when we did the first Thor a couple weeks back, is like the best parts of his character is when you see those flashes of comedy. Yeah. And obviously that gets expanded. I think a lot of people felt that way, and the studios decided, hey, let's lean into it.
The on-screen chemistry between Chris Hemsworth and I just had his name and I'm blanking. Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston is. I think it's just undeniable. They work on screen so well together. Their banter,
back and forth. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think they definitely nailed that.
I enjoyed this movie. My biggest thing we've already talked about, so I won't go into it. It was just a lot slower at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, even really, probably. I'd say the first half of the movie is pretty slow, and then once the shield carrier gets attacked, and then obviously
I also feel like they were doing a lot of like exposition. For the characters like that you saw within their origin story movies and stuff was because I think they were expecting a large percentage of the viewers who went to watch Avengers didn't watch all of the movies previously, but the fact that
because it wasn't a thing at that point. Yeah, you're right.
Because the fact that it was the Avengers.
They went to go see it.
They went to go see it.
So bigger than any of the previous movies.
Did like a slight recap for everybody.
Which makes sense, yeah. Now my next question is, did you guys all see it in theaters?
Yeah, I did.
I was telling him the first MCU movie that I saw in theaters was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
The first one.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing this one.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, I think I saw all of them in theaters except for Captain Marvel and Black Panther were the only ones I didn't see. Yeah, because by then it was just like, oh, another one's coming out.
You're getting a little burnt out.
Another one.
It was like every 6 months or the new.
It felt like between Infinity War and Endgame or whatever, it was like every 3 months. It was like, Black Panther, now Captain Marvel.
And then you had the second. Oh shit! I just had Ant-Man was in there somewhere, and or something else. I don't remember, but yeah, there was quite a few in the last probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump right into the plot.
Ant-Man and the Wasp I never saw in theaters either.
I didn't see that one in
theaters.
All right, so this
I have stock in Marvel, so
We open up with Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Or is it pronounced furry?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He arrives at the S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico. We see that there is an evacuation taking place. The Tesseract, which was introduced, was that in
Captain America?
Is that Captain America?
I said the first Avenger, but yeah.
Right. Which was introduced in Captain America. Has been activated. It opens a portal through space, and the exiled, I don't know why I put this, the exiled Norse god Loki steps through carrying a strange spear with a glowing blue tip. Loki takes the Tesseract and uses the spear to take control of the minds of a couple of S.H.I.E.L.D. personnel, including, I wrote it down this time, Dr. Eric Selvig, played by Stellan Skarsgård.
Those Skarsgård.
I think that's
the great Skarsgård acting family.
The Skarsgård blood.
So they're like the new Barrymore. They're like the Norwegian Barrymores.
And then Hawkeye, obviously played by Jeremy Renner, basically to aid him in his getaway. At that point, S.H.I.E.L.D. personnel, they pull out of their base when an energy surge from the Tesseract causes the ground beneath the base to collapse, destroying everything in its wake. At that point, we get like a cool scene of them going through the tunnel, just like a chase scene, trying to get him. Obviously, Loki gets away and is failed to be captured.
It's vodka.
I'd be so mad. I went straight to the back of the room.
In response to the attack, Nick Fury issues a state of emergency, telling his top agents, Phil Coulson, Natasha Romanoff, obviously, is Black Widow, and Agent Hill. I don't know her first name. The brunette.
The one who looks like Jennifer Connelly?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Agent Hill. Where was I? They have to pull out of their respective assignments and then sends them to basically oppose Loki. So we get the scene where, I think the very next scene is where Black Widow's tied up in Russia, being interrogated by the Russian general or whatever.
Yeah, and then she gets like a phone call.
Which was a little weird, but at the same time,
it's a power move.
Yeah, I know.
It's a power move. It's like I can contact you through any phone anywhere.
Yeah. Coulson was like, put her on the phone. We have a jet like 8 miles out, and we'll level you before you can get to the door or something. But yeah, so we get that scene. She does some more Hurricane Rana kickity flips and kind of takes out everyone.
And in real life too.
She has a bad ass.
And then I think the next scene, I didn't put it specifically. I think we cut over to India where we see Bruce Banner.
Yeah, she's going after Bruce, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she goes after Bruce to like basically to recruit him. We see Bruce. He's gone, I think, over a year without an incident.
Yeah.
He's like a scientist, right? So how is he like a medical doctor? I was wondering that.
Yeah, he's like a quantum physicist.
Yeah, but he's like healing. He's like healing.
He's got
people.
like 7 PhDs.
Does he?
Yes.
It was never specified.
That's a lot of
that's a good point.
I don't think he's even old enough to obtain 7 PhDs.
Unless he was like working
you find
simultaneously to get them all.
You find that out in Ragnarok.
Okay.
I don't remember.
You're a smart fucker, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Banner has been living in exile in India, working for a hospital in Calcutta, helping sick people, and has found inner peace doing so. God, I'm so fucking stupid. Romanoff tells Banner about the Tesseract and its destructive capabilities. As the world's expert on gamma rays, Banner is their best chance to find the cube's location. Then we cut over back to Nick Fury, video chat with the World Security Council. Basically, they're in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury is grilled about his plan to bring about the Avengers initiative. The Security Council, they're furious, saying that it's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do, and these people will never work together as a group. Fury then says that they have no other option, and this is their only hope of defeating Loki. At that point, the higher ups agree reluctantly.
Yeah,
and kind of see that. We then cut over, and I think this was in, I guess, the end of Captain America. We cut back over to Captain America in the punching bag. Yeah. Nick Fury walks out, tells him that I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but basically tells him like we're putting something together. He talks about the Tesseract dropping into the ocean when the plane went down, right?
Yeah,
in Captain America.
When Howard Stark was looking for,
and then he found it in the ocean, and and then Fury was like, "We thought you could be an asset, or what do you think about this?" And he says something like, "You should have left it in the ocean." Then at that point, then we cut over to Tony Stark. He is in the new Iron Man armor underwater. You kind of see the underwater capabilities there. He is installing a new electrical connection that will take his office building completely off the electrical grid, allowing it to become a self-sustaining
he's
energy
using
source.
His arc reactor technology.
Yep. He is greeted at the office by Pepper Potts, who tells him that it's date night. Tony wants Pepper to know how it feels to be a genius, and after an argument about how much credit she should get for coming up with the Stark Tower idea, date night is off because Phil Coulson arrives, and Tony quickly and repeatedly tries... Oh yeah, that's just kind of fun back and forth. He tries to cut him off, tells Jarvis to take a message, and...
I don't remember this scene.
You know,
maybe I was zoned out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, Coulson hands Tony a laptop. Actually, he hands Pepper the laptop, who hands it to...
Because Tony doesn't like to be handed things.
And I love stuff like that, where it's like, that was introduced in the first Iron Man, and it's still like a thing, even in later movies. Pepper decides instead to go to Washington, D.C. to get the zoning permits for the next 2 buildings for Stark Tower, as it seems Tony has homework to do, and a lot of it. We then cut forward to there's an airplane on the airplane to the secured location, an aircraft carrier that can convert to a flying aircraft carrier. I'm so stupid. Coulson is telling Rogers about how it's such an honor that they found him, and he's basically got like a fanboy crush on Captain America. He tells Captain America about his trading card collection. They then head to the helicarrier. Say what?
It's kind of weird. Grown man.
I mean, but he's like
But he was a kid when Captain America was still relevant.
He was a kid in the 40s.
Yeah, he was like a kid.
Maybe relevant, but
he was a kid in maybe the 70s, 80s.
They then head to the helicarrier, and Rogers is introduced to Dr. Bruce Banner. The two then wonder what kind of ride they are in for. Rogers thinks it's a submarine, but the last thing Dr. Banner should be riding in is a submerged, pressurized metal container. The carrier then takes off. On board, they are briefed that Dr. Selvig and Loki have been traced to Stuttgart, Germany. Roger's first assignment is to go to Stuttgart to arrest Loki and bring him on board the helicarrier. Loki is at a formal black tie gala at an art museum where he is kidnapping a doctor who harbors the element they need to make the Tesseract work. And I have to say, go ahead.
I was just like, how did nobody bat an eye that he was carrying this glowing scepter, with a blade at the tip?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dressed in a tuxedo.
Yeah, he got all the way to the middle of the room before he got, and then he took the guy's eye out before everybody started screaming.
Just another day at the gala, man.
His costume, I'm not a fan of. It's what we said about Thor.
The horns.
Yeah, it just looks super cosplay, comic.
Yeah, it's
not
a little,
comic booky, but cosplay.
A little over the top.
Yeah, it was just. And speaking of costumes, I didn't care for Captain America's.
I liked his original costume better, the 1940s version.
I think that's why later on in the MCU,
fabric.
Yeah, I told Chase it looked like he was wearing Captain America pajamas.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was just like
I'm not a fan.
Coulson designed that.
I'm not a fan of the mask. The mask just looks super weird.
Was that the thing that's hanging off? It was like a hoodie, and he pulls it over. Yeah, that was kind of lame.
But yeah, I like how later in the MCU they just do away with Loki's helmet and Cap's mask, and it's just their faces.
And I like when they switch to the leather and the armor of Captain America. Better. Yeah. But anyway, so he basically flips the guy over onto the table in the middle of the room. Loki does, and
sucks his eyeball out.
Yeah, sucks his eyeball out. That
suck.
That's got to be really painful. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Yes.
While Dr. Selvig creates a distraction and Hawkeye kills the man guarding the building, Loki carries out his plan. Outside, he is instructing the civilians present that they need to kneel before him, or else, and that freedom is life's great lie. However, one old man stands up in defiance, and Loki prepares to strike him down. However, the killing shot is neatly blocked by the shield of Rogers as Captain America before moving to confront Loki. As they battle, Tony makes his entrance.
One thing is like I thought it was redundant because like the old guy was talking about like there's men like you, there are always men like you and all that, and then Cap comes in and
says the same thing.
Yeah, like the last time I saw somebody standing above people was in Germany or whatever. We didn't get along. I'm like, that's just what the old man. You're stealing the old man's thunder. Yeah, it's redundant.
That was his 15 seconds of fame, and you took it. But yeah,
he's Captain America.
Like we knew what was implied when the old man said it, right? And then Cap had to go and like explicitly say it.
Like Cap's over the head
came in late, so he probably didn't know the old man said it.
As they battle, though, Tony makes his appearance to the tune of "Shoot to Kill" by AC/DC, with full Iron Man weapons drawn to knock down the god and daring Loki to make a move. At that point, he quickly surrenders, and you obviously get the idea that something is up.
Right.
It was a little too easy. But yeah, they bring him in, and while being flown to the high-tech prison on board the helicarrier, the plane encounters a lightning storm.
It was not a helicopter.
Being flown to the high-tech prison on board oh, yeah, you're right. No, I put helicarrier. It was helicopter, yeah. The plane encounters a lightning storm. Captain America asks Loki if he's afraid of lightning. But Loki tells him it's not the lightning that he is afraid of, it is what comes afterwards. Then we see the first appearance of Thor, Loki's half-brother and the Norse god of thunder. He arrives and attempts to capture Loki. I don't know why I put attempt, he did capture him. So Loki can face Asgardian justice for his crimes, but Thor gets into a fight, basically takes him to like a cliff, or like a top of a cliff. And then he gets into a fight with, I think it's Iron Man first, and then Captain America kind of steps in at the end
and stops it. That's when you get that cool shot, though, of like him bringing down the hammer onto Cap's shield.
Yeah. Oh, and then it kind of blows everything
like a
back.
shockwave.
I wish they would have fought for real.
I gotta imagine, like, I don't know the comic book lore and everything, but if you're like a god, like I feel like. Even with the Iron Man suit,
I mean, he's technically not a god.
Well, he's like
even Loki says it in Avengers. He's like, they fancy us gods, but
I mean, he's Odin's. I mean, he's half at the very least.
No, I mean, to them, they're not gods. They're just like,
but he's got
people with powers. But when they came to Earth, they were worshipped as gods. Oh, okay. So I mean,
I was just gonna say, like, it seems like even with the Iron Man suit, like Thor should be able to take care of fucking Tony pretty quickly. It seems like
a lot of people should be able to take care of Tony pretty quickly. Thanos and stuff.
Yeah, fair point. But the fight ends in a stalemate. Eventually, Loki is taken to the helicarrier and placed in a glass cell designed to originally hold the Hulk. Fury explains that if Loki attempts to escape, even by merely cracking the glass, a shaft will open below. Will open below him, and he'll plummet to Earth and possibly be killed. I don't know why I put that.
Why'd you put that in a note? Say shaft.
I mean, I didn't bat an eye at Shaft until y'all started laughing. I'm like.
Anyway, on board the aircraft carrier, the fully assembled Avenger squad is being briefed by Fury about what they think will possibly happen next. Loki is in prison and is interrogated by Agent Romanoff. And then we get the feeling, originally, obviously, when the scene starts, we're supposed to think that he is he's like manipulating Black Widow, when really it's the other way around. She, pretended to be vulnerable to like get him
and
then
get him to talk.
Yeah, get him to like run his mouth.
Plans.
Exactly.
That's her superpower. Being a woman.
Then Tony Stark arrives.
When you're that hot, it's hard to not talk around you.
Stark arrives, and it seems the only one of the group he really gets along with is Bruce Banner. While conducting experiments on Loki's scepter, Stark tries to get a rise out of Banner so he can witness Banner's famous party trick. Kind of pokes him with a screwdriver, and he does some other stuff. I can't remember, but just trying to get him to react in some way. Banner flinches and then begins telling about how he's been unable to fully harness his abilities and that he suffered depression after the accident. That's why he moved to India, as helping people is what gives his life meaning. The Avengers, now brought together, argue and deliberate over how to approach Loki, and the revelation that S.H.I.E.L.D. plans to harness the Tesseract's power to develop weapons, a discovery made by Captain America. Fury admits that the events in New Mexico a year before, obviously they're talking about Thor, made S.H.I.E.L.D. aware of other races on other worlds, some of whom may see Earth as an easy target. Thor is then seen asking Coulson about what happened to Jane Foster. What's her name? Natalie Portman. Yeah. And I can't remember why wasn't she back? Because I don't know if it was contract negotiations, but there was a reason she wasn't in any of them up until, now she's going to be in the new Thor. But there was something
I don't remember, but it might have been
there was something that was supposed to be happening. There was something behind the scenes that
I want to say it was contract.
Yeah, it might have been.
But I'm not 100% sure.
But they did show the picture of her. Coulson tells him that S.H.I.E.L.D. has placed her in the Witness Protection Program and that she is in a safe zone in London. The decision was made to produce weapons with the Tesseract as a means of deterrence, as the group argues. Oh, and this is where we get the scene where everybody's like kind of going at each other's throats.
Yeah.
We get like everybody starts arguing about everything. Hawkeye and as the group argues, Hawkeye and Loki's possessed agents attack the helicarrier, disabling one of its engines mid-flight, while Stark and Rogers attempt to restart the damaged engine. Romanoff tries to prevent Dr. Banner from turning into the Hulk and destroying the ship from inside. Her attempt fails as she's chased through the ship, and there was that really cool scene where she's like running
that's towards my favorite shot.
She's running towards the camera. The Hulk's like coming right behind her, and there's like sparks and explosions. Super cool scene, yeah. Her attempt fails, as she's chased through the ship until Thor takes up the battle to pacify the beast and manages to fell him briefly with a hit from the hammer Mjolnir. While fighting Barton, Romanoff slams him into the guardrail, and the blow to the head breaks Loki's mind control. After the Hulk falls from the ship, Thor is tricked into Loki's holding cell by Loki himself, who has recovered his scepter and releases the
Thor's
cell.
Not very smart.
And allows Thor. No, he did the same thing in Thor.
And he on the Rainbow Road. I'm pretty sure he does like the same thing in other Thor movies too. Anytime Loki's involved.
Also, with that like the glass cage thing, did anybody else think like that probably wouldn't even hurt them?
Yeah.
I
don't like. What was the point of like sticking him in there?
It wouldn't even hurt the Hulk. I don't think. Like
he's definitely not the Hulk.
He shot himself in the head or like in the mouth, and it didn't do anything. Like why would dropping him to Earth was like? I don't know.
This is pointless. But,
Loki is held at bay briefly by Agent Coulson, but is also tricked by one of Loki's holographic projections. Coulson is then...
hold on. Even the Hulk, like, he even falls all the way to the ground anyways and through that barn, and he's fine.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't understand.
From, like, the same altitude.
Yeah, you're right. Coulson is then stabbed in the back by the real Loki. Coulson later shoots Loki with a blast from an unidentified weapon, one that harnesses the power of the Destroyer. Coulson dies while Fury tries to save his life. Thor then escapes from a cell.
I wouldn't really say he tries to save his life.
Yeah,
he just watches him die.
Yeah, he does. He just kind of
watches him die. He's like,
and then waits for the medics to rush in and just
says, "Don't die, just don't die."
That's an order, soldier. Whatever you. Thor escapes from the cell.
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
From the cell, a split second before it hits the ground, Banner wakes up in his human form after crashing into an abandoned factory. We then cut back to Fury using Coulson's apparent death to motivate the Avengers to work as a team. Stark and Rogers realize that simply defeating them will not be enough for Loki. He needs to overpower them in a very public way so as to validate himself as ruler of Earth. Using a device built by Dr. Selvig, Loki opens a portal to the Chitauri homeworld over Manhattan, summoning a Chitauri invasion. Once again, the group's petty differences overshadow their ability to communicate as a team, especially with Banner now missing. While in argument with Rogers, Tony finally figures out that Loki is a full-tilt diva and that he's obviously set up shop at the top of Stark's office. Cutting back over, Black Widow arrives too late just as Dr. Selvig has opened the portal. This unleashes Loki's army and all hell breaks loose. The army is massive and they can't fight all of them. They can't fight all of them off as much as they are entering the Earth's atmosphere. Tony Stark thankfully shows up, as does Bruce Banner. While fighting, Rogers dispatches the NYPD cops to direct citizens into the underground tunnels and sewers. Meanwhile, the Hulk smashes some of the lines. I mean, I get it, it's a comic book movie, But like
the Hulk smash.
Yeah.
And
like,
Hulk smash.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? It's like a little too much.
For me, what line would you put on there besides that?
I would not
just
put
like
any
Hulk
line.
go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Hulk
do
out,
something.
bro.
Do something. Do your thing. Meanwhile, the Hulk smashes and Tony arrives at Stark Tower where he attempts to stall Loki with a drink which is used to threaten and intimidate him. As that's going on, Tony has Jarvis prepare an underdevelopment version of Iron Man called...
and he also goes behind the bar to put on the bracelet.
Put on the bracelets, yeah. Version of Iron Man called Mark 18, which is contained in a giant box coded specifically for Tony and has advanced weapon capabilities. Loki refuses to cooperate, saying the destruction will continue as long as the citizens of Earth don't get that they need to be ruled by him. Loki attempts to take control of Stark by using his scepter on his... Oh, basically, like, he tries to tap the scepter to his chest, and it obviously the palladium, the arc reactor. Yeah. Not palladium. Palladium's what he had before. Very bad for you. Loki attempts to take control of Stark by using his scepter on his heart to control his mind, but it fails thanks to Tony's somewhat trusty arc reactor that keeps him alive. The Avengers rally in defense of New York, but quickly come to the conclusion that they will be overwhelmed as wave after wave of Chitauri descend upon Earth. And this is where we get the scene where the camera kind of rotates.
The classic Avengers.
That's my favorite shot of the movie.
Where it kind of spins around the entire group.
And then it ends on the street with like Cap and Black Widow, and then Tony comes flying in, and then he launches like the beam at Cap's shield, and
It's
it,
a
like,
good shot.
reflects it.
With the help from the reformed Barton, Rogers and Thor evacuate civilians while Dr. Banner transforms into the Hulk and goes after Loki, beating him into submission in Tony Stark's penthouse. And then this is where we get the great line, obviously, puny god. I don't remember what Loki says. He's like...
Yeah, he's just telling him he's a beast or something.
Yeah, I'm a god.
Shit.
Romanoff makes her way, and I distinctly remember that just because in the theater I remember everybody like cracked up at that line.
I didn't see it in
It was pretty funny.
Romanoff makes her way with a little help from the Chitauri. I think it's Chitauri.
It's Chitauri.
I'm gonna say Chitauri because it's easier for me to say. To the device.
It's pretty much the same.
To the device that holds the portal open, conveniently located on the roof of the Stark building, and hits Dr. Selvig over the head, freeing him from Loki's control. Dr. Selvig reveals that Loki's staff can be used to close the portal. As that's happening, Hulk confronts Loki, who refuses to be intimidated by such a beast. As Rogers instructed, Hulk smashes Loki into near oblivion. That allows Romanoff to grab the scepter and head to the roof to shut down the portal. While Black Widow is securing the portal, Stark is securing the perimeter. Meanwhile, with Fury on a conference call to the Council, Fury berates the Council's decision to launch a nuclear missile at Manhattan. Yeah, that seems really just...
They would never do that.
No.
On a civilian population.
Even if we were
on a home civilian population.
Would they?
No.
If the sky opened up...
I mean...
If the sky opened up...
Independence Day.
That's your best response is Independence
If the
Day.
sky opened up and we found out, without a doubt, that there was a hostile alien race...
Not while the Avengers are still fighting.
But they didn't know their capabilities at that point.
They know. They're in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. They have to know.
I think they would.
I think
they would launch a nuke.
So.
On a foreign civilian population, no questions asked. But
it's like the World Security Council. I mean, granted, they're all American, ironically, but it's supposed to be protecting the world. But anyway,
if the Avengers were defeated, then go for it.
Then sure, drop them all. Fury tries everything possible to stop the council from launching nukes, even destroying 2 jets that are taking on... Where the hell did he just pulled a fucking rocket launcher out of nowhere?
He's Nick Fury.
Yeah.
He's always got a rocket launcher on there.
He's got a weapons valet right next to him.
It just reminds me of like a video game where he just like Pulls it out from under his coat. And it's just right there.
Yeah, it's a trench coat. You can hide a lot of stuff.
Unfortunately, as he's about to fire on a third jet, it gets away and it ends up launching the nuclear weapon. Tony intercepts the missile.
I want to know what kind of rocket launcher he was using to shoot down the jet, though.
That's what I mean. I was just like...
I mean, he didn't blow it up. He just
disabled it.
Winged the tip of it.
I mean, to be able to hit a jet is what I'm saying.
Fair.
Like, even like just like a handheld like rocket launcher.
It's probably a heat-seeking.
But still, the rockets
RPG.
wouldn't be fast enough to catch a jet, is what I'm saying.
Well, they were just about to take off. It wasn't actually flying.
Oh, I don't remember that. Oh
well. So from there, Tony intercepts the missile, and he knows exactly where to put it.
What I didn't get was when the second jet was flying, he pulled out his handgun. Like,
oh yeah.
Are you gonna do?
Just get that one perfect shot.
Where's the fuel tank at? Right there.
And what I forgot to say earlier is that while back on the helicarrier in the second act, where Tony and Steve Rogers are getting into it, and Captain America tells him that he's like selfish and he only thinks about himself. That was obviously a lot of foreshadowing that Tony was going to take the warhead into the portal.
That wasn't really foreshadowing.
No, but like you knew,
it was alluding to
it. It was the same way that like in
just like on all the Iron Man movies, he's always set up.
Yeah, but like it was like the same thing in Infinity War where Doctor Strange is telling Tony Stark, if it comes down to you or the stone,
right.
I won't hesitate to, whatever. And I was like, okay, well that means that you're going to do the exact. It's just whatever. That's fine.
That was before it's all.
Yeah, so he flies it into the portal.
I have to imagine though, just like I have to imagine there's like more than like the 14 million scenarios possible.
No, he got to that one point. He's like,
this is
the first one I saw that went.
Yeah. I have to imagine there's an infinite amount of like possibilities of how the battle.
Really, there's like 50 trillion times they win.
This is
because you do one little thing different. It's like the butterfly effect, and then you got a whole new branching path.
While in the portal, Stark instructs Jarvis to try to call Pepper one last time. Unfortunately, the call fails as Pepper is on a plane.
Shadow on silent.
Yeah. Glued to the TV while with other Stark Industry executives, Tony launches the nuke at the Chitauri mothership, completely destroying the invasion. What?
It's Chitauri.
All the invading aliens collapse and are rendered useless. Stark sees the nuke go just as he runs out of oxygen and falls to what appears to be certain doom. Thankfully, he manages to escape the portal just as Romanoff is able to successfully close it. Once back in the atmosphere, it looks like Tony isn't going to make it, but then he's saved by the Hulk. A dazed Stark is awakened by the Hulk's roar. Oh yeah, he's like trying to like push it and then just and then he offers to take the team out for shawarma, but they decide to apprehend Loki first. The Avengers go their separate ways. Romanoff, Rogers, and Hawkeye return to working for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hawkeye completely useless in the final battle.
Yeah,
dude.
Even Black Widow was more useful than him.
He ran out of arrows, man.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just completely. And he was firing out like one every 5 minutes. It's like, what are you doing? What are you really doing? But what are you really doing?
Got one quiver. It's got
there's like thousands, and he probably took out like 20.
Tony and Pepper are seen rebuilding Stark Tower and are working on the next phase of the project. Thor escorts Loki and the Tesseract back to Asgard, where Loki will stand multiple trials for war crimes from both Asgard and the Chitauri. Meanwhile, multiple TV news reports recap the events surrounding the Avengers, and while they've become worldwide heroes for some, for their efforts in New York, others are fearful and want to know who will take responsibility for the devastation.
Just worry about taxpayers.
That's exactly right.
Who's paying for all this damage?
I can't remember. There was a video, I'm sure you guys have seen it, where they try to calculate all the damages from the Avengers from this movie. It was like, it's like $600 billion worth of damage or something.
Hey, it's all right. They build it up real quick.
Yeah,
I know, right?
By the next movie, everything is back up.
All they got to do is make movies like an MCU in the MCU, and then the movies would pay for all the damages.
On another video conference call with the World Security Council, Fury is being congratulated, but they also grill him. They grill him now that their secret is out. This group is too what does that mean? This group is too dangerous for the world. Dangerous. It's hard to talk this long. For the world to handle. And Fury is glad. What happened in New York is a warning to all the galaxies that if they try to attack Earth, S.H.I.E.L.D. is there to defend it, and they have just the team. Fury also tells the S.H.I.E.L.D. board that the Avengers' whereabouts are no longer being tracked. They've earned a leave of absence, but will be called back when needed. He also tells the Council that the Tesseract is where no one on Earth will ever be able to find it. In the mid-credit scene, the Chitauri leader, the Other, tells his master that it is futile. Is it futile or futile?
Both.
Either.
Okay. Futile to attack Earth, as fighting the Avengers is like courting death. His master turns, revealing himself to be Thanos.
If he knew like his master was Thanos, why was he worried? Like, you'd be courting death. Like, you know how strong Thanos is.
A worshiper of the personification of death, smiling at the chance to court her with more loss of life. After further credits, the Avengers are shown eating together in a shawarma joint. The team looks worn out and no one talks.
Who's serving food that close to after that war zone?
That's
Chinatown.
Because there's I remember watching this, and I at this point I didn't really understand the event. I mean, I like the comic book, the Avengers, and I didn't really know who Thanos was. But I remember, I swear to God, I'll never forget this till the day I die. There was a girl sitting in front of me, literally one row in that way, a couple seats. When Thanos came on screen, she stood up like fucking Kermit the Frog. Her arms were flailing. And she was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "I don't know who this is."
I mean, I knew who Thanos was.
I didn't know at all who it was.
I don't really read comics, but he's a pretty big Marvel villain, like him, Galactus.
Yeah, totally didn't get that. But she freaked out. I'll never forget it. It was insane. But anyway, yeah, so there we have it. Marvel's The Avengers.
I think she was more excited that there's going to be more to the story than actually knowing that it was Thanos.
She could have known it was Thanos.
Well, I mean,
but I'm just saying,
if you know, at that point, the Infinity
end credit extra scene, there's going to be another movie.
Yeah, I don't know, but she freaked out. It was.
I'm not going to try to speak for her.
But yeah, so Marvel's The Avengers. That is the movie. Let's do, I don't know what we call it, Chilling with the Villains. I need to come up with a theme song for it.
Okay. You do that?
Yeah. So
yeah, you do.
There you go, perfect.
Let's have a little Dicky do it.
I want to watch his new show.
Yeah.
I like Lil Dicky. He's funny.
Where do we put, obviously it's got to be Loki again. Is it Loki and the Chitauri?
Chitauri.
I don't. Do they count?
Go with Eric
because it's an entire race.
Yeah. Dr. Selvig and Loki.
It's pretty much just Loki again.
Yeah.
And so I'd still have him number one.
Number one.
Yeah. Throw Thanos in there if you want to be cheap about it.
So, okay, I don't remember what it is, but Loki's in there twice. He's number one and number two, I think.
We'll just have him number one. It's too much. It's too much to just have every 6 iterations of Loki in there.
I have it written down, or I have it in the computer. I just don't remember what it was. So before we officially rank this movie, actually, I guess we talked about it up front.
In the beginning. Yeah.
So we'll start from the bottom top. Who here thinks it is? And I think we all know where we put it. Who thinks it's better? We'll just start in the middle. Who thinks it's better than Captain America: The First Avenger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who thinks it is better than Iron Man at number 2?
What's Iron Man?
Iron Man 1 is number 2 on the list.
Is it?
And Iron Man 2 is number 1 on the list currently.
It's tough. I want to say
I think it's the best one out of Phase 1. Okay. So that's where I put it. It's number 1.
That's what I was gonna say.
Number 1. What about you?
That's just me personally. I think it's just a spectacle of it all.
Yeah.
It is cool to see it all come together.
And it's because, what we said for pretty much all of Phase 1, the final battles are only 10 minutes long in each movie in the first phase.
The last,
it's the last
pretty much 45 minutes or
like,
an hour.
The last half, because like as soon as like they invade the flying airship thing,
it's basically all action,
non-stop action from there on.
Yeah.
So.
Personally, I would probably put it at number 2 behind Iron Man 2. I think that's just a more entertaining film, front to back. I really think, just like we said at the beginning, I really think the first half of that movie was super slow. But you're right, once it does pick up and they get to the helicarrier, then it's foot on the gas the entire way. But if you guys think number 1, I'm not gonna. I mean, that is what it'll be. Number 1. Okay. So the new rankings in ascending order is number 6, The Incredible Hulk. Number 5, Thor. Number 4, Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 3, Iron Man. Number 2, Iron Man 2. And your new number 1, I don't think it's any big surprise, is Marvel's The Avengers. Yeah, there we have it. Next week is Iron Man 3. I remember not really caring for this.
It's my least favorite of the Iron Man.
Yeah.
So
me and Sean already watched it. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So we'll just save that for next time. But not the biggest fan.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I remember it's I think we talked about it in Iron Man 2, but Jon Favreau, him and the execs at Marvel or Disney, there was a lot of complications with like reshoots and the script and stuff, which made him not want to direct the third one, which is why Shane Black did it.
I will say, just really quickly, I'm not going to get into it, but I like what they did with Tony's character. They humanized him more.
They did, and I like the PTSD, and then the after effects of.
I'll talk about it more when we actually get
definitely.
to it.
So there you guys have it. Let us know what you think about the ranking. If you agree, disagree. Like I said at the top of the video, give this a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button.
You guys want to play the movie 20 questions?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
I have it. I have it.
How does you play 20 questions?
You ask questions.
You get 20 of them. You get 20 questions.
And then whoever gets to it first, right?
No, I mean, we're all on a team.
Yeah, you guys are playing against me.
Is it a Marvel movie or just any movie?
This is going to be, to make it easier, it's going to be, it's going to have something to do with a connection with
Hollywood.
Avenger.
Oh.
The movie?
The movie
Avengers?
we just talked about.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not a movie.
It is a movie. It's either be connected either through story, director, or cast member.
Okay. So it just has to do with the whole.
Yeah, it's
not connected
the
to the movie. It's not
the movie.
It's not the name.
It's not necessarily an MCU movie.
No.
All right.
Okay.
But it has the connection between one of those 3 categories.
So the categories were cast, director, or
like
movie,
or like the movie concept.
Okay,
I'll let you guys ask questions first. I don't have any good ones.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused, but
okay.
We got 20 questions, so I'm sure I'll get there.
First question: Is it?
I'll count on the fingers.
Okay.
Is it a movie?
It's a movie.
Good question.
Okay.
So that narrows it down.
On the last one, you can, guess. You have to guess what it is.
Okay.
But we can guess any
question.
time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a movie.
It is a movie. Is it? Feel free to jump in. Is it? Is it an MCU? Is it a standalone MCU movie?
No.
Okay.
Did it come out in the 2010s?
No.
It either came out this year or before.
You asked if it was in the
a standalone MCU movie. So it's not. Yeah, it's not a standalone. So it means it would have to be. Is it an Avengers movie?
No.
Is this movie in the MCU?
No.
Okay.
It's 5.
Now I'm kind of understanding the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was confused
okay. I was
about.
like, okay.
Is it a Marvel
Does it star
property?
Robert Downey Jr.?
No.
Is it a Marvel property?
No.
Is it directed by Jon Favreau?
No.
Is it under? Actually, that's probably a waste of a question. I'll ask it anyway. Is it under the Disney banner? Is it like Disney owned this movie or property?
No.
Okay. You hesitate.
I had to think if it was or not.
Does it star Scarlett Johansson?
No.
Shit, we're halfway home.
Jesus.
You guys are asking very specific questions right now. Try to broaden it, then try to bring it in from there.
That's what I tried to do.
Was it released in the 2000s?
Yes.
Christ.
Okay. So,
There's only 700 movies now.
So you got that from 2000 to 2010. You don't even know what kind of genre it is.
Right.
But there's so many genres.
okay.
Is it a comedy?
No, but it does have some comedy elements to it.
Fuck, man.
Is it a romantic comedy?
I wish I could take back my first 5 questions.
It's considered a romance movie.
And
Does it star Mark Ruffalo?
No.
Ooh.
All right, buddy, go easy on the questions there, man. We're up to 14.
Hold on.
Romantic comedy.
This is not an official question. This is between the team. Is it
Mark Ruffalo and romantic comedies went hand in hand before the Avengers?
What about what's his name?
I wouldn't categorize it as a
Chris
romantic
Evans,
comedy,
he was in
but-
that one movie, right?
I'm sure he was.
I didn't even hear what you said.
You said Chris Evans was in that one movie, right?
He was. I can vouch for
Are you
that.
talking about Not Another Teen Movie? Or
No, but he was in that, right?
I love Not Another Teen. It was hilarious.
Wasn't a romantic comedy with Scarlett.
is that the movie you're talking? That's
No.
not an official question. Fuck. So it's not a romantic comedy, or it is?
No.
But it has romance
in
and
it.
comedy.
It has romance, but it has comedic elements. You won't say it was a comedy at all.
I'm trying to think who.
Was it a big blockbuster
No.
movie? No. Okay. So
All right, we got
something
5 more.
Something a little more low key.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it has Paul Rudd in it. He seems.
Was Paul Rudd in Avengers?
Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck. So who was? So it's.
Doesn't have anything to do with Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., or Mark Ruffalo.
So it's either Chris Evans or Jeremy Renner
Or Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, or Tom Hiddleston.
Huh?
He wasn't again if that's all you guys have in a cast.
All right.
Samuel
Well,
Jackson.
Ooh, could be Samuel Jackson. In a lot of movies.
yeah, he's in too many.
Wait, it is a movie, right? Did we establish that? I think
Yeah.
that was like one of the first
So
questions.
is this
That's
movie?
not quite, I think you asked that.
Which one?
If it's a movie.
No, I was gonna say.
I'll give you a hint. You did mention this person's spouse
spouse.
in this episode.
I don't know who everybody's married to.
Either. I don't keep
We
up
talk-
with pop culture.
We talked about it in this episode.
Yep.
The fuck did we talk about spouse?
I mean, we talked about a lot of people.
He said you didn't bring up the spouse.
No,
We
you
did, but
did
I don't
mention
remember-
it briefly.
We brought up a lot of people.
But I don't remember specifically a spouse.
I don't.
What the fuck was I talking about then? Shit.
Here's a
I don't-
side comment.
I don't remember. Must have glossed over that.
Married to.
I don't know.
I don't think
Okay,
Sam
you guys got
Jackson's even
5.
married, so.
All right.
You guys can take some shots. I asked some
I don't remember
questions
any
and you guys berated me for them. So
Hold on. Well, let's go through everybody we talked about. It was.
Chris Hemsworth, he's married to.
He's married to the chick in Fast
Definitely not
5
getting
or
it,
6.
getting it.
Chris Evans, I don't know who he's married to. Natalie Portman, I have no fucking
when we
idea.
mentioned the rest of the Avengers, he made it pretty clear that it wasn't any of the actual Avengers
Right.
cast or Loki.
So who else was in that?
I don't know. There's Agent Coulson, but he's just had like cameos in like other movies.
Oh, was it?
One-off.
No, it wasn't. I don't know who that is.
So you got 5 left.
The only other character of note that we haven't talked about is Agent Hill.
Skarsgård.
Oh, and Skarsgård.
Very minor.
Fucking A.
Fuck, I don't even remember who's in it anymore.
All right, let's think of some questions. Came out in the 2000s.
Yep.
Has comedic elements, but it's not a comedy.
Has romance in it.
But it's not a romance. This is so fucking confusing.
It's considered a romance.
But it's not a rom-com.
No.
I just keep thinking Twilight.
I was thinking The Notebook.
Then I would just say that would be a romantic movie. This is just romance is part of it.
So is it a drama then?
No.
Fucking.
Thor.
I'm clueless. How can we narrow this down with a broad question?
Figuring out who's in it. But I don't know who's in it.
Well, that's a specific question, like a broad question that can eliminate a lot of possibilities.
Oh, at this point, we only have 4 questions left.
Go
we don't even really know the genre
of the timeline of the movie.
When does the movie take place? Like what
yes
time
or
period?
no.
Damn it. See, if you answer yes, and that still just leaves. No, that's a waste.
I'm clueless.
I am too.
Trying to like go through like everybody who had a minor role in Avengers, but I can't remember anybody because they had a minor role.
Oh,
minor role, but it's kind of significant towards the end. Marvel.
The Avengers. Marvel's The Avengers.
Huh?
Or the MCU.
The MCU.
That just brings up more questions.
I have no fucking idea.
Fuck, what's his name? Dude who plays Thanos. What's his
Josh
name?
Brolin. No. Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Brolin.
I don't know. He wasn't in the Avengers.
I mean,
dude, I'm so
Thanos.
fucking confused.
No, that was a different actor that plays Thanos in the Avengers.
I mean, it's hard to tell because it was such a shitty Thanos.
It really was. It was bad CG. They really improved. Fuck, man, I don't even know.
We got 4.
Came out in the 2000s.
Came in 2000s, between 2000 and 2010.
It only narrows it down to 958 movies.
Even if we narrowed it down.
All right. Did it come out before 2005?
Yes.
Okay, so
that doesn't
500 movies.
We eliminated 5 years of movies.
Yeah, but I can't even remember what movies came out in what year.
Did this movie win any type of Academy Award?
No.
Okay.
It's 2.
So it's not a prestigious movie.
No.
And it wasn't a blockbuster.
I'll give you another hint. We've seen this movie.
I figured.
It wouldn't be fair if we hadn't. I don't know. I have zero.
So
idea.
Between 2000
at this point, it does it
yeah.
star? It stars a minor character in the MCU.
That doesn't count as a question.
What?
In the beginning, it was a minor role,
but it's expanded. It expands later on in the MCU.
Yes. Became a very significant character. And
Jarvis, right? Because he turns into Vision.
Yeah.
He gets bigger.
Yeah. But who? I don't even know who plays him.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
I fucking know any Paul Bettany movies, do you?
He's in the Da Vinci Code.
I don't think there's 2.
Is that our guess?
No.
You guys have a question?
No, he said he didn't know any, so I was just trying to name some.
I don't know if it's Paul Bettany. I doubt it.
Well, we got 2 questions left.
Yeah.
So who's a minor character?
Does it star Paul Bettany?
Yes. He's a character.
He's a character in it? He's in it?
If it's the Da Vinci
All right,
Code,
we got one question left. All right, guys. We got one question and then a guess.
He has the one main character, but he's not the main character of this movie.
So I really don't know any movies.
Is Russell Crowe in it?
Just think of any movie between 2000 and 2005 that he's in it.
Is he in The Gladiator? Paul Bettany?
No.
Russell Crowe? No.
He's in A Beautiful Mind. Has romance. No, it has no comedy. It's not funny.
It's not funny at all.
It's not funny.
Unless you got like a weird sense of humor when you find him like leaving his baby unattended in a bathtub's funny.
So think of a romantic movie
I don't
even.
I can't think of any movies with him that early.
With some comedic elements to
we
it.
got one question
I
and a guess.
know no movies he's in.
Just name off some movies that what movies he was in.
I don't know. The only movie I know.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
That I can remember.
The Da Vinci Code and
it's a Beautiful Mind.
Aren't funny.
I don't know any movies.
Unless you find the part where he's like freaking out to himself in front of everybody.
I don't find that.
I don't know. I have no idea what it's gonna be.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of his movies. Am I allowed to look at what movies he's in?
No.
Well, we're at this rate where we're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys can guess a movie. I don't know.
I don't know what he's in. I can't even think of a movie to guess.
Did we own the movie on DVD or whatever?
So we are out of questions.
Yeah, so you gotta
guess.
Guess.
I don't know. I don't know any movies that he's in. I can't think of any right now.
So we've owned this movie.
You guys can take a shot in the dark.
This was a lot harder than I originally anticipated.
I have no idea.
You know, Sean, any guess?
Give up.
No.
What is it?
Just a guess.
No, I've named all the Paul Bettany movies I know of.
The movie is in 2001.
Odyssey.
A Knight's Tale.
Oh,
Jesus!
I forgot he was in that.
And I was gonna ask, one of the questions was if it took place in modern times, but I thought that was a stupid question.
I still wouldn't have gotten it. I forgot he was in A Knight's Tale. I haven't seen that probably since 2001.
I want a question.
All right.
That is it. 20 questions. Yeah, I like that. We'll do that again next week. So, like I said at the beginning, guys,
I would have gotten them all right.
If this is your first time, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to do the same. We appreciate that always. Again, if you want to keep up with us and do your homework, next week is Iron Man 3. I think that's everything, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, have a marvelous day.
So just think of...
Wait, what did the spouse